We're live from New Delhi, watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in Sikkim's 50th year of statehood celebrations and inaugurate multiple development projects worth over 4,000 crore rupees. Prime Minister Modi also to visit Uttar Pradesh later in the day. Healthcare infra projects worth thousands of crores to be unveiled in the holy city of Varanasi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to attend SCO ministerial meet in Kyrgyzstan to discuss India's commitment towards global peace amid security challenges prevailing in the world. Trump discusses new Tehran proposal with national security aides while Putin meets Iran's foreign minister. Oil prices climb about 3% to a two-week high. And White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting suspect charged with attempting to assassinate Trump could face life in prison if convicted. And on to the details now. U.S. President Donald Trump discussed a new Iranian proposal on resolving the war with Tehran with his top national security aides on Monday, as the conflict remains in a stalemate with energy supplies from the region reduced. Answering questions at a briefing, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt did not offer an opinion of the proposal in which the Strait of Hormuz would be opened and Iran's nuclear program discussed at a later date. But she said Trump's bottom line demands remain the same.
Well, only because it's been reported, I will confirm the president has met with his national security team this morning. The meeting may be ongoing, maybe not. I don't want to speak affirmatively because I was prepping to come out here. But the proposal was being discussed. I don't want to get ahead of the president or his national security team. What I will reiterate is that the president's red lines with respect to Iran have been made very, very clear, not just to the American public, but also to them as well.
Well, 6 tankers loaded with Iranian oil have been forced back to Iran by the U.S. blockade in recent days, underscoring the impact the Iran war is having on traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Between 125 and 140 ships usually crossed in and out of the strait daily before the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran began on February 28th, but only 7 have done so in the past day. They included the Iranian-flagged dry bulk vessel Bavand, which left from an Iranian port, and other vessels leaving from Iraqi ports. The U.S. military has not provided a complete breakdown of the type of ships it has diverted or the precise location, opens new tab of the interceptions. And amid ongoing peace talks and reduced transport flow through the Strait of Hormuz, the United States and Iran clashed at the United Nations on Monday over Tehran's nuclear program and its selection to be one of dozens of vice presidents at a month-long conference to review the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The 11th conference to review implementation of the NPT, which came into force in 1970, began on Monday at the United Nations in New York. Different groups nominated 34 conference vice presidents and the conference chair. Vietnam's UN ambassador Do Hang Viet said Iran was picked by the group of non-aligned and other states. The United Nations chief, Antonio Guterres, led a chorus of diplomats urging a fuller opening of the vital waterway.
I urge member states to support the emergency evacuation framework prepared by the International Maritime Organization, a coordinated plan to ensure the safe movement, assistance and protection of effective crews in full accordance with international law. Mr. President, the Charter's prohibition of the threat or use of force applies fully at sea. Navigational rights and freedoms through the Strait of Hormuz must be respected, as affirmed by this Council's Resolution 2817. These principles must be upheld in full and without delay. I appeal to the parties, open the straits, let ships pass, no tolls, no discrimination, let trade resume, let the global economy breathe.
Well, meanwhile, Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg after visiting Islamabad twice in 2 days, a meeting in Muscat, Oman. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, presidential aide Yuri Ushakov and Igor Kostikov, head of the main intelligence directorate of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces, also attended the meeting. Representatives on the Iranian side included Deputy Foreign Minister Kazem Garibabadi and Iranian ambassador to Russia, Kazem Jalali. Now, during the meeting, Putin said Moscow intends to continue developing strategic relations with Iran, is willing to make efforts to help secure peace in the West Asia at an early date, and hopes that the Iranian people will pass through the current period of trials. Araghchi said relations between Russia and Iran would continue to strengthen and thanked Putin for Moscow's support. He said that the strategic partnership between Iran and Russia will be strengthened and that the Iranian people, with their courage, are capable of resisting American aggression. And moving on, an update on conflict between Israel and Lebanon, in which Israel's army expanded strikes, killing 4 people, including a woman, in multiple locations in southern part of Lebanon. Israeli attacks have killed at least 40 people in Lebanon since the ceasefire began on April 17th. In response, Hezbollah fighters launched 3 attacks on Israeli forces inside Lebanese territory on Monday. According to a statement, Hezbollah soldiers targeted an Israeli military bulldozer while it was demolishing homes in the city of Bint Jabal and a Merkava tank in the town of Quantara. Fighters also targeted 2 gatherings of Israeli troops in the town of Nakura. And now an update from the United States, where a man accused of trying to open fire on a White House media gala this weekend was charged in court on Monday with trying to assassinate U.S. President Donald Trump. Cole Allen faces a sentence of up to life in prison if convicted. Several shots were fired before Allen was subdued in a chaotic encounter near the checkpoint. Allen never got close to Trump or the other guests attending the large-scale dinner event on a lower floor. The California man's attack was the 3rd attempt on 79-year-old Trump's life in 2 years. After the hearing, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche gave details regarding the charges.
Today, the Department of Justice filed 3 federal charges in United States District Court against Cole Thomas Allen. The first count is attempted assassination of the President of the United States. This count is punishable by up to life in prison. The second count is interstate transportation of a firearm to commit a felony. This is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. And the third count is discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence, which is punishable by a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment of 10 years, a maximum of life, and the 10 years is consecutive to any other sentence.
Well, the White House has blamed a left-wing cult of hatred for inciting violence, singling out Democratic politicians who have accused Trump of trying to amass authoritarian powers. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt described the foiled attack as the 3rd major assassination attempt against President Donald Trump. A gun-wielding suspect was stopped by Secret Service guards before he could enter the crowded hotel ballroom where Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance and many other top U.S. officials were gathered for the annual dinner.
Nobody in recent years has faced more bullets and more violence than President Trump. This political violence stems from a systemic demonization of him and his supporters by commentators, yes, by elected members of the Democrat Party and even some in the media. This hateful and constant and violent rhetoric directed at President Trump day after day after day for 11 years has helped to legitimize this violence and bring us to this dark moment. Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence. The left-wing cult of hatred against the president and all of those who support him and work for him has gotten multiple people hurt and killed, and it almost did so again this weekend.
Well, moving on, UK's King Charles III and Queen Camilla were received by US President Donald Trump at the White House on Monday, marking the start of the first British state visit to the United States in nearly 2 decades. The visit, timed with the 250th anniversary of the United States, comes at a crucial moment for the special relationship. While the White House meetings reflected warmth and mutual respect between the king and the president, the broader backdrop is shaped by rising geopolitical tensions and tighter security after a recent shooting incident in Washington. The King and Queen smiled for the cameras as they sat down for tea with Donald Trump and First Lady Melania at the White House as the historic state visit got underway. One of the major highlights will be King Charles addressing a joint session of the United States Congress on Tuesday, something no British monarch has done since 1991. After Washington, the royal couple will head to New York City for a visit to the 9/11 memorial. The royal couple will also visit Virginia before concluding their 4-day U.S. visit. Well, Iraq's alliance of Shiite political blocs has named Ali al-Zaidi as its nominee for the post of Prime Minister. Iraq's President Nizar Hamidi invited Zaidi on Monday evening, the nominee of the largest parliamentary bloc, known as the Coordination Framework, an alliance of Iran-aligned factions to form a government, Shiite lawmakers told Reuters. Zaidi, in his 40s, is an Iraqi multimillionaire with interests spanning several sectors, including banking and the supply of Iraq's vast government food basket program that serves millions of people. Under Iraq's constitution, Zaidi now has 30 days to form a cabinet and present it to parliament for approval. Under a power-sharing system designed to avoid sectarian conflict, Iraq's president is a Kurd, its prime minister a Shiite, and its parliament speaker a Sunni. Well, the Britain's Parliament will vote on Tuesday on a possible inquiry into Prime Minister Keir Starmer, looking at whether he misled the House of Commons over the appointment of former US Ambassador Peter Mandelson. House of Commons Speaker Lindsay Hoyle said he had approved a request from opposition Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch for Parliament to debate and vote on whether the Committee of Privileges should look into the matter. Any such inquiry could have serious implications for Starmer's future. He so far resisted pressure to quit over his decision to hire Mandelson, but if found to have knowingly misled the Parliament, his position would likely become untenable. Mandelson was fired by Starmer last September after his relationship with the late US sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was found to be deeper than previously known. And tensions between China and Taiwan seem to be rising again. Taiwan has spotted 2 Chinese warships operating in waters near the Penghu Islands in the Taiwan Strait and has sent its own naval and air forces to keep watch. China, which views democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory, sent its warships and warplanes into the waters and skies around the island on an almost daily basis to the condemnation of the Taiwanese government. Now, Taiwan's military closely monitored the formation and responded appropriately using naval and air forces. Also, Taiwan's government rejects Beijing's sovereignty claims, saying only the island's people can decide their future. And moving on, in Nigeria, gunmen have killed at least 29 people, with locals saying the attackers targeted young people gathered at a football pitch, the latest bout of deadly unrest in Africa's most populous nation. Now, the attack on Sunday occurred in Adamawa State, which borders Cameroon and is a hotspot for violence. Communal violence over conflict for land is also rife in the state. The latest attack comes as Nigeria's security crisis is increasingly under scrutiny, both abroad and at home, as general elections are less than a year away. Although Nigeria is now looking to the United States for technical and training support for its troops fighting the jihadists after a resurgence of violence strained relationships between the two countries. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Annalena Baerbock visits India to hold talks with Dr. S. Jaishankar on global challenges and multilateral cooperation. Jerome Powell heads into final Fed meeting as rate pause expected amid leadership transition. And in the IPL, explosive Rajasthan face undefeated Punjab today, while RCB thrashed DC by 9 wickets.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse. Is the United States China's debt trap strategy? Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you.
Exactly what to save your.
You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, Prime Minister Modi is on a 2-day visit to Sikkim state in northeastern India. On Monday, Prime Minister held a roadshow in Gangtok. And on Tuesday, Prime Minister will participate in the closing ceremony of Sikkim's 50th year of statehood celebrations in Gangtok, where he will unveil developmental projects. These projects span a wide range of sectors, including infrastructure, connectivity, healthcare, education, power, urban development, environment, tourism, and agriculture as well.
On Tuesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Orchidarium in Gangtok. To showcase the ecological and floral heritage of the state, Swarna Jayanti Maitri Manjari Park has been developed as a state-of-the-art, world-class orchid experience center. Thereafter, Prime Minister will participate in the closing ceremony of Sikkim's 50th year of statehood celebrations at Paljor Stadium. There, he will inaugurate, launch and lay the foundation stone on multiple development projects worth over 4,000 crore rupees. These projects span a wide range of sectors, including infrastructure, connectivity, healthcare, education, power, urban development, environment, tourism, and agriculture. Key projects which will be inaugurated are inauguration of permanent campus of Sikkim University at Yangang, administrative block of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose University of Excellence at Chakkung, Helen Lepcha Medical College at Sochegang in Gangtok, inauguration of a 30-bedded integrated Sowa Rigpa hospital at NIT Deorali, Sikkim IFCO processing plant, launch of implementation of IT-enabled educational infrastructure projects across 160 schools, widening and strengthening of the road from Birdhang to Namchi via Kichu Dumra, Jan Seva Sachivalya mini secretariat at Lumse, redevelopment of bridge precinct in Gangtok, ecotourism and pilgrimage infrastructure at Doordarshan in Soreng, and infrastructure related to the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra.
हम लोग ना सिक्किम का सारा लड़की लोग बहुत खुश है। वो जो एसएचजी महिला लोग है वो सब लोग मोदी साहब को एकदम धन्यवाद कहना चाहते हैं, जितना भी वो इधर डेवलपमेंट दे रहे हैं।
यहाँ पर जो भी सेंट्रल में लागू होगा वो भी यहाँ पर सुविधा डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट यहाँ पर पहुँच के यहाँ पर पब्लिक को एकदम बहुत बुनियादी सुविधा हुआ है।
स्कीम्स जैसे PMEGP जैसे बहुत सारे सेंट्रल स्कीम्स है, रैम स्कीम्स, उसके तरफ से हम लोग बहुत आगे बढ़ रहे हैं।
जब से मोदी जी आए उन्होंने अष्टलक्ष्मी जो 8 राज्यों को जो विशेष ध्यान दिया, इसके कारण से प्रगति है।
To give a boost to Sikkim's connectivity, tourism, healthcare and social development, Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of several projects. They include foundation stone for a 100-bedded Ayurveda hospital at Yangang in Namchi district, 2-hinge double-lane steel arch bridges over River Tista at Sirwani and Lower Samdong, Sambhav Mandap, public utility center at MG Marg in Gangtok, sewerage system rehabilitation at Singtam town under river pollution abatement initiatives, an eco-pilgrimage complex at Silnon in Gyalshing district. Prime Minister's visit reflects government's continued commitment to the rapid and sustainable development of the state as well as the northeastern region. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, after concluding his visit to northeastern Indian state of Sikkim, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to make a 2-day visit to Uttar Pradesh on Tuesday. In the upcoming visit to his parliament constituency, Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of various development projects worth around 6,350 crore rupees in Varanasi on Tuesday. The Prime Minister will dedicate over 48 completed projects to the nation as well. These projects span multiple sectors including rail, road, water, healthcare, tourism and urban infrastructure. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of over 112 projects worth around 5,300 crore rupees. He will also flag off 2 new Amrit Bharat Express trains, Banaras Pune and Ayodhya Mumbai. These train services will facilitate easier access to Kashi Vishwanath Dham and improve connectivity to the Sri Ram Mandir Tirth Kshetra, strengthening links between key religious destinations. And moving on, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will participate in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Defence Ministers meeting in Kyrgyzstan's Bishkek today. He will highlight India's commitment towards global peace amidst the security challenges prevailing in the world, apart from conveying India's consistent stance on zero tolerance for terrorism and extremism. The Defence Minister will also hold bilateral talks with his counterparts of other SCO member states to further strengthen defence ties. He will also interact with the Indian community in Bishkek. And President of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Annalena Baerbock, is on a day's visit to India today. She will hold bilateral meetings with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi and discuss key multilateral issues of mutual interest. Baerbock will also pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat. She will also have an interactive session with representatives from the Ministry of Electronics and IT on governance and regulation of artificial intelligence. According to the advisory, the focus is on discussing current global issues and challenges for the international order and stress the importance of upholding the UN Charter, strengthening the United Nations and intensifying multilateral cooperation on all three pillars of the United Nations. The visit reaffirms India's steadfast engagement with the United Nations as well. And in business news, Federal Reserve policymakers will gather in Washington from later today in what may be Jerome Powell's last meeting as head of the U.S. Central Bank. A May 15th endpoint for Powell's 8 years at the Fed's helm now appears more likely after a major obstacle to the U.S. Senate's confirmation of his appointed successor, Kevin Walsh, was removed on Friday. Meanwhile, the oil prices rose and stock markets moved unevenly on Monday as the prospect of Iran peace talks remained stalled. Both main international oil contracts pushed higher, with Brent crude rising to more than $108 a barrel as the crucial Strait of Hormuz waterway remained largely closed. While stock markets were mixed, with both the S&P 500 and Nasdaq edging higher to finish at all-time records, but the Dow retreated along with several leading European and Asian indices. And in sports news, Rajasthan Royals will be on the road to face the high-flying Punjab Kings side in the IPL 2026 in New Chandigarh today. RR will be eyeing a comeback after a tough loss to Hyderabad in the last outing in Jaipur despite a 36-ball 100 by Vaibhav Suryavanshi. The Royals made a fantastic start to their campaign, winning the first 4 matches on the trot but have managed one victory in the last 4 games. Punjab Kings, on the other hand, head into the contest undefeated. Defending champions Royal Challengers Bangalore handed the Delhi Capitals a humiliating 9-wicket defeat on their home turf in the Indian Premier League after winning the toss and opting to bowl. RCB pacers Josh Hazlewood and Bhuvneshwar Kumar took 4 and 3 wickets respectively as DC were bundled out for a paltry 75 in 16.4 overs. The Capitals registered the lowest ever power play score in IPL history, 13 for 6, but avoided the threat of the lowest IPL team total. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Vipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.